Ellen. And we heard those of us that were there yesterday at the Patrick Magro studio. Patrick was talking about taking people on a journey, safari in Swahili. And yeah, I think that storytelling, that journey is key, key to a lot of design. So thank you, Ellen, for sharing that. So I'm going to ask this next question to both of you. So Ellen, you can have a think whilst Danayi answers. So how important is sustainability? It's a big part of what we're going to be doing this week as a creative economy week. But how important is sustainability to you, Danayi, in the design process? And what steps do you take to ensure your collections are environmentally conscious?
Thank you for the question. So I always like to tell people that I fell into sustainability. I think because I studied design, I sort of wanted to follow the rules and the protocol. And as an independent designer, I actually realized I had to think of alternative ways in which to sustain my business. And strangely enough, those sustainable ways to sustain my business was to think alternative and find solutions. So because my business was fully self-funded, and I'd already, let's say, in essence, invested money in the raw material, I had so much material left over, and I figured I need to use this to maximize on what I have. So that was how I actually entered into sustainable practices. It was me just trying to sustain my business, maximize on my resources, and make sure I used everything. And in essence, it sort of found me. I knew I loved luxurious fabrics. I knew I loved things that felt natural and light. So that was also another element. So I almost feel like sustainability was sort of natural to me, and it's also natural to Africans. It's a way of being, it's a way that we always function. Even when I look at my grandmother, I look at my mother, they've always been such resourceful people. They recycled a lot. And it's kind of strange to find that I ended up adopting these practices not as a trend, but just as a way of being as an African that comes from Zimbabwe. We find that a lot of Zimbabweans function that we're such a resourceful group of people, that we're so solution orientated, that when we're trying to come up with a solution, the solution in essence then translates into sustainability. So I think if we go back to our core of who we are as a people, we will naturally exist in a sustainable way. So I think it's about us rediscovering who we are, our backstory, where we come from, how we've always functioned, and kind of bringing that into contemporary fashion in a way that's meaningful to produce beautiful product that tells a story about who we are.
I love that, and I absolutely love that. And I think you've just exemplified for us the storytelling aspect, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's really clear in what Danayi just said about sustainability as resourcefulness. So actually, a lot of us as designers are forced to think resourcefully because we need to. We need to think about how we can, if we don't have that seed funding at the beginning, how can I use that material? That's how I got into it. I was, I studied a lot of college fashion, but I felt very different to a lot of the people on the course. And the way that I sourced fabrics was to call up warehouses and ask if they could give me their off-cut denim and see if I could repurpose that. And at the time, it was kind of a bit like, yeah, it was. People were a bit like, we're using silk, she's using scraps. Like, well, I think that's the beauty of it because you can create something really innovative. I lecture on sustainable design thinking at College Fashion, and all of my students that have mixed heritage are the ones which are embedding their stories from their countries into solutions. And I think that that's really exciting, and the innovation behind that. And I think sustainability can be different things. You can be sustainable in your fabric choices, right? But you can also be sustainable in the way that you're creating relationships and you're building infrastructure into your business. But I don't think we have to do it all at once. I think sometimes as student designers say they're sustainable, the industry or the media can be quick to kind of question that actually we should be supporting every step in the way.
Brilliant. Two fantastic examples, I think, of that important sustainability question. Because they're really different perspectives of what it's really interesting. Great people to Zimbabwe, Ellen and the UK. Fantastic. We'll come back to you, Ellen, if I may. I know Zimbabwe is relatively new to you through the programme, but from your experience, you said you work in Indonesia and a number of countries over here. How do you think Zimbabwean fashion can gain more visibility on the international stage, and what collaborations or partnerships would help facilitate that? you. That sounds great. I mean, I'm no expert. I love the idea of the podcast. And also, like bringing in the diaspora as well in the UK, you know, I think they play a pretty role. You can take that away and do what you think. If I can come back to you tonight, what do you see as the biggest challenges in the fashion sort of industry in Zimbabwe? And what might be in place to kind of overcome some of those challenges, particularly for kind of nascent designers, artists and creatives?
I'll answer from my experience as a designer. And I found it was policies that actually enable us to do business easily, policies that help us to actually access the global markets that we have a desire for our products. So for example, logistics, shipping, easy payment structures online. That tends to be a little more challenging in Zimbabwe because it functions as easy as it probably would in the UK. There seems to be multiple steps that you have to take. No longer becomes easy to have those sort of transactions. So they can improvement in those areas. And I also think support can be in education. Because I feel like we're in an age where technology, skill sets are continually evolving and developing, and for us to keep up with the global market, while we also update our own traditional skill set in a way that helps us to stay really competitive in international space. So that definitely comes through education. And also for the finance sector, so if you try to think right now like Zimbabwe, I think we sort of have to change our criteria when it comes to setting up businesses in terms of loans for designers and creators. It's really not accessible or easy for emerging creators to prove that we can actually pay off this loan and get access to this loan. So sometimes we reach a point where we can't go any further if we don't get that additional financial investment, and we almost reach a roadblock. So those are some of the key areas that I've experienced. But luckily for me, another area that I experienced a challenge in was access to market. So through the Creative DNA program, and I was a part of it, I went to London, and that's actually where I met Ellen Rock. And look at where we are today. I made like a network. I met people in the industry. We created synergies. I went to Egypt under Creative DNA, and through that experience, I met so many designers. I made so many connections, and from that, even more doors to market access opened up for me beyond the beyond the Creative DNA program. So you see that like exposure is a huge thing. Even being able to see other designers and how they produce, their finishing, the quality, how they price, it enables you to understand which category or space you can potentially fit into. So for me, it always comes back to exposure. Continual exposure. Exposure never ends because the world keeps evolving and changing, and you want to keep up with those changes as well.
Fantastic, some really good examples tonight. Thank you, and I love the last there as well. You know, we're always learning. Yeah, keep being curious. Keep going. Thank you, Danayi. And back to Ellen, if I can, and then I'll ask the same question to Danayi. In what ways do you think fashion can act as a bridge for cultural exchange between Zimbabwe and the rest of the world? It's quite a big question.
Yeah, just a small thing to I think that the bridge that can be established between two people, like Danayi just said, our relationship building started with a workshop. So I think that those activities and that shared knowledge, and also IGC Fashion in Uganda, we've also run a workshop, and now we've shared opportunities with each other. There was a panel talk that I did with Revivala and Yaira in Ghana. That was started as an online conversation, and now that might be a collaboration. So I think the basis actually is that collaboration and how that can be done in a way which is beneficial for both parties. And that's something that I'm really passionate about and try and champion, and actually try and break down what is a collaboration and how do you approach it. And I think that also usually encompasses the artisans. So how can we ensure that the collaboration is economically beneficial for the designers, but also for the artisans as well? So it's a bit of an abstract answer to the question, but I actually truly believe it does lie in collaboration and also the understanding of intellectual property and how that can be sort of, and by intellectual property I mean shared processes. So whether, I mean I've been speaking with Malat about your weaving technique and how you honour that and how you bring that into how you advertise and embed it into your work, and then therefore that also creates exposure for the weavers that are doing that. So I think that the bridge lies between preserving those original processes in a rapidly developing digital world and actually bringing those with us as designers on a global sphere.
What was the question again? Give me a little bit of the question.
I don't need to talk into the mic really. I'm asking you the question. In what ways do you think fashion can act as a bridge for cultural exchange between Zimbabwe and the rest of the world?
So, in my journey, I've always been huge on telling stories. I always lead first with the story, and the clothing almost becomes an accessory to the story that I want to tell. So when it comes to collaborations and then just expanding and bridging that gap, I had an experience when I went to Senegal, and I had an opportunity to work with the Senegalese creatives. And what I like is free range of expression. So I've already created this garment. I had my own thinking about what this garment's story was going to be, what its name is going to be, but then I also like to give it over, ownership over to the creatives that I work with. So in this instance, I was working with photographers, and I said, this is the garment, this was the story, but I want you to reimagine it through your own lens. And that's how often I collaborate with a lot of people, is I want the clothing to, in essence, live beyond the limitation that I've created for it. It becomes its own living thing when it's taken on by another creative. And every time I work that way, I'm now giving other creatives the liberty to exist, or allow these clothing to exist in an alternative world, in essence. And every time it's come back to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know my clothes could look like this. Or oh my gosh, I didn't know that these clothings could exist in this way. So for me, when it comes to bridging gaps between cultures, I think it's about allowing other creatives to also freely express themselves within the work that you also do, and for you to also freely express yourself. So I think it all comes back to freedom. And how free can we authentically be when we come together in expressing our different cultures, our voices, but then in that freedom, how then can we create also a synergy that creates a harmonious end product? And sometimes it doesn't always have to be harmonious. I'm also open to that. I'm also open to the chaos, because I always come back to fashion. I say, fashion is commercial, but then fashion is also art. Art has a voice, and sometimes you just have to let it be what it wants to be. So I think because I kind of work my process backwards. I lean in first with the art, and then I have to restrain myself and say, come back to the commercial aspect. And I think I've found a good, healthy balance in that. And even in working with other creatives, I found ways in which all those aspects of myself, where the commerce and the art, the expression, the cultural preservation can all, in essence, coexist together. And that's how we bridge the gap.
Lovely. Fantastic. Again, two wonderful perspectives. Thank you. And the embers are glowing in the fire. We're coming to the end of the chat. Ellen's brought some marshmallows for us later. Okay, so I'll get back to Ellen, if I may, and then to Danayi with the same question. So, again, yesterday when we were at Patrick Mavros, somebody asked him about kind of digital and online and how that's changed his business. So it's a similar question. How have digital platforms, social media, e-commerce changed the way you design, sell your work, engage with the world?
Yeah, I think the digital skills are really, really important. We all know what it's like to be working in our studios and kind of have a couple of people pass by. And I think being at Patrick Mavros yesterday really showed that, because whilst we were there was maybe 5 or 6 customers in the space of an hour and a half, which was quite incredible. from a sales perspective. But as he said, or as his son said, they actually have 40% in the background of digital sales. So I think digital sales can act as that, your kind of back support when you're running a business, to try and like reinforce what you're doing day to day. But kind of, I mean, he described it, and I've heard this from different business mentors, having your bread and butter product. So yeah, making sure that that's kind of giving you the security so that then you can go and innovate and test and experiment ideas. And I think that's something that Danayi and I are really trying to embed in the accelerator for Zimbabwe that we're creating and programming, is how can we not only look at the digital e-commerce side, but also in the digital communications, because that is our way to globally access and get people to invest and become followers or community. And I think there's other ways we can do that as well, like mailing lists. I love a mailing list and a newsletter. If anyone wants to be on my newsletter, no, I'm joking. But because it's a way you can actually personally speak to people and say, actually, you know, I've just been in Zimbabwe, this is where we visited. It's almost like blogging doesn't seem to be as common anymore, but if you're speaking with a newsletter directly to your customers or to your clients, you have that like constant dialogue. So maybe we can look at that too. I'll hand over to Tim.
I'm going to speak of online digital more from a marketing perspective. And I always like to tell this funny story about my journey when I started House of Stone. So I would say unofficially, I started House of Stone in 2013 when I was still based in South Africa, and I was working there as a visual merchandiser. And I worked with the most beautiful people in that retail space. So on the weekend, I was like, guys, I've made some clothes this week. Let's just go and have a photo shoot in Maboneng and just have vibes. So they're like, fantastic. And I hired a professional photographer. He's actually now a famous photographer in South Africa called Xavier Seya. So we went downtown to Maboneng. We took some pictures, we posted. And then we took some pictures and we were just having the greatest time of our lives. These pictures came out so good. I said, I think I'm going to post them onto Facebook. So I posted them, I branded them with my logo, House of Stone, and the aesthetic back then was very bright, a lot of like prints, pinstripes, African, it was loud, and I posted it. And it kind of blew up. And this was in 2013. I even remember receiving an article from one of my friends from Zimbabwe in the Herald saying, Zim designer makes it big in South Africa. And I remember thinking to myself, I haven't even started designing properly yet. But what that amplified to me was the power of the internet, the power of social media, and the power of perception. And I truly believe that today I am where I am because I've utilized my social media platforms very wisely. I'm very intentional about the aesthetic and the image that I put out there. I do a lot of work when it comes to House of Stone. But if you were to visit my House of Stone page, you would think that the Vogue-esque type of fashion is all that I do. But I kind of realized where I wanted to belong. And I said, now that is the image and that is the fashion that I'm going to put out there on my social media. And I think because I've been very strategic about that, I have been in Vogue multiple times in different countries because I had the intention that I want to exist in a Vogue space. What is a Vogue aesthetic? If Vogue ever came across my platform, would they say I belong in that space? So I think as creators, when you're using your social media platforms, it's not to look busy, but it's to look intentional. I think intention trumps busyness. It trumps just trying to look like you're doing something because people want to know, what are you about? And if they can't see it when they come onto your platform, then they skip over you because it becomes confusing. No one wants a puzzle that they have to try and figure out where to place you. They should see you immediately and know, this is an Al girl. This is a glamour girl. This is a Vogue girl. Where do you want to exist? So I always say when you're curating your spaces on your platforms, wherever it may be, always think, where do I really want my brand to be? Where do I want my brand to exist? And curate it for that. And I guarantee you that actually draws the people and the spaces that you want towards you. I am a testament of that. I set my intention at the very beginning where I wanted to belong. And I didn't have those people's email addresses. I've heard about cold calling, which I still think is a great thing to do, but I believe that I've actually attracted my tribe to me, and I've attracted the spaces that I've wanted to be in by being very intentional about how I present myself on my social media platforms. So that's
I think that's a fantastic message to leave us on. Intentionality. Really, really clear. Well, friends, we've come to the end of our chat. Please join me in thanking Danayi and Ellen for sharing their rich insights. And I wish you a successful week. Make the most of it, everybody. We can have more of these chats, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how things land for everybody after this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. What an inspirational and dynamic conversation. At this juncture, we would like to introduce the designers that are showcasing this week. So if we can go. Is that okay? Okay, wonderful. I'm just going to start over here, if that's fine. Char Designs. Miss Charmaine, can you come up here, please? Phenomenal Zimbabwean designer, welcome, Charmaine. Can you tell us a little bit about your product, who you are? Why are you a fashion designer?
Hi guys, it's nice to meet all of you today. My name is Charmaine Zirademuka. I'm a fashion designer and I'm very passionate about fashion. I started fashion at the age of 13 and since then I never stopped. I only did fashion because I wanted to prove my teacher wrong. And then afterwards I'm here and I've proven her right, that this was the profession that I was supposed to take. I'm a Zimbabwean fashion designer. I was raised in Harare. I then went to Savannah College of Art and Design and studied fashion there. So I'm very privileged to have gone to school to study. And I've been invested in a few projects. I Wear My Culture, so there's I Wear My Culture 2 coming. So please do, if you're around, check that out in August. I've been part of Stricket, which was a Norway event. What really drew me to sustainability was my mom. So my mom has a curtain business. And so, like Danayi as well, how she got into it is sometimes when you're a small brand, you don't really have the resources that are really ready available to you. And so I just decided to take those materials and try and make them into fun, interesting, innovative clothing that people would like to see. Yeah, so that's basically my product. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to the British Council and the Creative DNA. It's a very good platform. Thank you.
Congratulations, Charmaine. On to the next, we have Dol Mel. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. Welcome to Zimbabwe. Wonderful. Please tell us about your fashion life and who you are in these beautiful clothes.
Hi everyone. I'm very much happy to be here. I feel humbled that I am surrounded by a lot of creative minds. So yeah, I'm Melat. I am from Addis, Ethiopia. Yeah, my story starts when I was in 5th grade. It didn't start with fashion. It started with sketch painting. I used to get in trouble at school for just like not paying attention in school and just like, making a sketch and stuff. But fashion started after when I was in 9th grade and I knew I wanted to be involved myself in fashion. And that's when I came up with my logo and my brand name. I just wasn't sure how I want to pursue it, but it was always something that was inside of me, and it was a passion that I knew that I was gonna use at some point. So fast forward to I got into college, did my normal, pleasing your parents kind of study. I did my management study. Then I quickly joined to the corporate world. So I worked for like 10 plus years for like international organizations and such. But after COVID, or during COVID, I feel like that was a very reflective time for all of us, where I had to take a moment to reassess, revisit, like, what do I want to do? I knew it has always been fashion, because up until that time, I was just like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, doing the fashion industry and also doing my full-time job. So I asked it this question, like, what do I want to do? Everybody else is focusing on handloom and textile. And I was like, I know I've always been obsessed with patterns, so let's start there. And that's how it kind of, gave birth to this identity that I am basically showing you guys now. So all of the patterns are inspired by my late grandmother's traditional tattoo that she wore on her neck, shoulder and arms. So these elements, like when you look close, you see a little intricate details of the patterns that tell a story of faith, beauty, and spiritual connection. Sorry, I can't read now, I'm just like talking fast. So, yeah, this has always been my passion, and I'm just happy to do this. Just to give you a backstory of how we are printing, we integrated with digital reactive printing. It's a high-tech technology that is being done for the first time in Ethiopia. So it's a pioneer brand in that aspect. It's a non-toxic ink that we use. It's water-based ink that we use, and it only works with natural fibers, cotton, silk, and wool, and to some extent to viscose. So, like I said, I love patterns. I'm obsessed with patterns, and that's how I tell my story. And basically, Dol Mel's design philosophy stands with timeless connection, between the bondage between our culture, craft, and having a conscious living. And that's what I try to live every day, and trying to stay true to myself and to my brand.
Thank you so, so much. Who do we have up next? Sorry, I don't have a name up here. Hi.
Good. Thank you. My apologies, everyone. I haven't setting up. I had a client come in all the way from Bulawayo to get pieces from me today at 8:30, so I couldn't come and make it on time. But I am Chantal Jeradi. I am the owner of Riso Jeradi, which is a tailored, quality, sustainable brand. I like to say that I started in fashion because in Shwanda we say, "Ndagarirwa nemachira," which means my mom was a tailor, and I grew up around fabrics. And when I grew up around fabrics, I grew up around fabrics. Like, I would be lost in piles of chiffon, lost in piles of linen, because my mom was just passionate about it. And as you go into high school in Zimbabwe, you get to choose a practical. And I wanted to do food and nutrition because I am greedy. But my mom said, "Kumba kunetsono," which means we've got pins, we've got fabric, we've got machines at home. So we're not about to buy food and nutrition equipment when we've got machines at home. So you are going to do fashion and fabrics. So that's how I got into fashion and fabrics. And just like Char, my teacher said, "You are a know-it-all. You are not going to pass this subject." I proved her wrong. I only got an A because of that, but that is when the love of fashion started. Just an appreciation of it from the day to day, that I would see my mom running with designs. You know those memes about African tailors will kill you because it's a day before the event and your dress is still in pieces? I've lived that life. So I went to university in South Africa, and I needed to get like pocket money. So I started fashion blogging, And I would make my own pieces in my dorm room, and sometimes I'd get my mom to make me pieces and then ship them to South Africa, and then I would put them on my blog. What is Chantal wearing? And people would be like, hey, where can I get that? Where can I get that top? Where can I get that skirt? And because I was studying business admin, I was like, I can make money from this. So I started selling the pieces that I would wear to people, and then they would wear them on their Instagram. Instagram was happening that time, so people would tag me, and then I created my business page, and then that's how we started. So that was around 2018. Hello, hi. And then in 2018, I came back to Zimbabwe, and I said, this is something that I want to continue on, but I need to be a bit intentional about it. So we started making plus size fashion. So when you would walk into a shop, you would get a standard size 12, but people can be different sizes 12. One person can be bottom heavy, you can be top heavy, but you're still a size 12. So we wanted to bring that curated, tailored experience where you get clothes that fit your body, that fit your shape, and you're confident in what you're wearing. You don't have to constantly adjust because it's a size 12 and it fits on the hip, but the bust is a bit loose, so you constantly have to be adjusting it. So we brought that experience where you like a standard design, but we are customizing it to your proportions. We are customizing it to your specifications. Maybe you like this dress. This was one of our popular dresses. It's a doll swing, but you don't like the back. The back is a bit too low for you. So it's our standard design, but because we are taking into consideration what you like and what makes you feel confident, we might bring the back up. We might lower the top, or we might even make it longer. And I think that's what drew our clients to us, to know that they could still enjoy a design, but in their own interpretation. So now we're in the middle of a rebrand, and I love what Danayi was talking about, intentionality. And we are looking at what we want to be in the next 10, 20 years. And simply put, it's a sustainable lady of leisure. We want you to feel great in your everyday clothes. So we have a lot of easy kaftans. We've got a lot of girly but beautiful tailored dresses. We're all about the finish. We're all about comfort, but we're still about making a standard design your own. And I am so happy to be a part of this. I hope you will join us in our journey.
Thank you and congratulations, Chantal. I'm low-key obsessed with Riso Jeradi. I follow you everywhere. Okay, who do we have here? We have an accessories designer, Paper Pieces. Very excited to have you share your pieces with us.
Morning, everyone. My name is Rungano Nyamaedenga, and I'm from Harare, Zimbabwe. So my brand is called Paper Pieces, which I started in 2018. And the reason I started is because I was not well. I needed a creative outlet. So this really is the baby that helped me get out of a mental rut at the time whilst I was in university. And I learned the skill of making paper beads from my aunt in 2016. And at the time, I made 3 pairs of earrings for my friends for Christmas. And they continued to wear them. So I'm like, that's really strange, guys. Why are you doing that? But they would send me pictures, and then months later, I needed money. I needed pocket money because at the time I was in university. So I made a few pairs, took a picture, sent them to my friends on WhatsApp, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll have those. And I was selling them for like $3 at the time, and people were buying. So Paper Pieces is really a testament of community, people who have encouraged me to continue creating and who just wanted me to do more because they could see the vision before I did. I think my path is different from a lot of fashion designers. I don't have a fashion background, so I've had to learn along the way and also see what other people are doing and really pair the creativity the creative bone that I have from my mom and my grandmother with my interest in design thinking, which is an element of creative ways of solving problems. So with paper pieces, we collect paper, which is used for packaging hair extensions from hairdressers in Harare, and that's what we upcycle it to create beads, and then I say we because now I'm training women within my community to help me with the crafting process. So it's something that I'm like, okay, thank you, sorry. Curious to empower women because my background is in gender studies and I have an interest in design thinking. So this is just one of the ways I want to bring out the design thinking aspect by creating pieces that people like to wear and also seeing how I can solve the problems within my community. And sustainability happens to be the place that I fell in. So that's my journey.
Absolutely amazing and inspiring, and it's been fantastic to watch you grow over the last few years. It's really been beautiful. Keep going, keep going. Who do we have next? Welcome. Killia. Lilly. Hi, Lilly. May you introduce yourself and your brand to us? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lilly Alfonso. I'm a proud owner of Lilly Alfonso brand. My story is very short. In 2016, I saw the need of bringing designers together. I've seen myself become successful in fashion, and I saw there was a gap why other designers are not making it in their space. So I decided to come up with a plan to inspire, motivate, support, educate, and transfer skills to the next generation. So with me here, I didn't just come alone. I came with the rest of other designers that I've been training over the past years. I saw there was a point where you have to give people space and exposure so that they also have a story to tell. So many people are going through so much and they can't afford these spaces to come, but I thought of bringing them. So with this initiative, I've seen taking designers to all this fashion destination and fashion spaces, Portugal Fashion Week, London Fashion Week. I've been so many places. You can find our story in CNN, BBC, what we have been doing. I believe if you want to go far, we have to go together. So I took this space coming here. I was only invited here to come here as a Creative DNA partner, just coming to see what others are doing, but I thought of bringing the designers with me to introduce their stories and see what we can do with the designers. Thank you so much.
Lilly, your story is so inspiring, working with people, uplifting other designers and putting them on an international platform. So congratulations and welcome to Zimbabwe. Next we have Cheryl Johnson of Natai. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you. Guys, I'm just gonna yap about my brand. So my name is Cheryl Johnson. I prefer the term fashion entrepreneur because I feel like designer doesn't really encapsulate, it doesn't really capture everything that that we do at our workshop. So I actually studied business. So I'm very interested in how the whole fashion business works. So our focus is on creating linen garments. So we make men's and women's linen shirts, safari suits, cute little sets, dresses. But my passion, one of my biggest passions right now is alterations and repairs. Because I feel like people that do alterations, we're not talked about at all. It's like everyone focuses on the designers. But we are also part of the ecosystem. That when something doesn't really fit well anymore, or if something is too small and it needs to be, you need to add the size, we are actually helping other designers. So I love alterations and designs. I'm like so obsessed with it. I mean, I'm obsessed with linen a lot. I love natural fabrics. I love cotton and all that. But I really love just helping people extend the life of the clothes that they already have. Because you have so much stuff in your closet, you don't need to be buying things every 2 minutes, you know? You can always just come through and we adjust it for you. Yeah, so I'm big on sustainability, just keeping clothes out of landfills. I don't think we should just discard our clothes because, oh, it has a hole in it. You can get it mended. Yeah, so excited to be here. This is my first time ever doing something like this. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Cheryl, and congratulations, massive congratulations to you. We have Shwanda Collections. Please come up. Welcome to Zim, all the way from Uganda.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Oh, it's good morning. Back at home, it's afternoon. Anyway, my name is Yvonne Sibuusisiwe. I'm from Uganda. I'm a creative entrepreneur who falls under fashion and style. So my story is quite long. I'm Ugandan, so I was born in Uganda. Right after high school, I moved to Nairobi, Kenya for school. So that's where my passion grew. I've always loved fashion, but I fell in love with the Kenyan culture. I discovered the Maasai beads, which inspired me to start my business in 2016. I used to go to the Maasai market in Nairobi. It was quite vibrant. I love the culture. So I used to sell Maasai beads. That's how I started out. Then later, I discovered a material called brass. It's Kenyan. It's made of zinc and copper. It's quite durable. So that's how I fell in love with brass. And I've always loved to accessorize. So that's how Shwanda Collection happened, and a bit of a background. Shwanda is our family name, so I'm the founder of Shwanda Collection. So I've been inspired by the African culture. I love to accessorize, look good, feel good. So we've been inspired by the nature, Africa. Most of our pieces are like the African map that are made of brass. And we use a bit of cow horn on our earrings, which is still Africa. I come from a region called Ankole in Western Uganda. We have the longhorn cows. I don't know if you've seen them before. Yeah, so we've mainly been inspired by the nature. We also have like the elephant rings. So it's the African wildlife, and we like to call ourselves Africana Online. So the whole vibe is all about Africa, embracing our culture, our heritage. And yeah, come through, support us, follow Shwanda Collection on our Instagram. And thank you so much. It's my first time in Harare, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Beautiful, beautiful work. And the rings on your fingers, though, they're beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Okay, on to the next one. We have Haute Basso. Welcome. Thank you. I don't believe you're Zimbabwean, right? Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Please tell us about your designs and who you are.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys feeling? Feeling good? Great. My name is Rahma Bainga. I'm from Rwanda, Kigali City, Rwanda. So my story is a bit different. I don't own Haute Basso. I'm not the founder. Straight out of high school, I decided to take a leap year, and I said I was not going to sit the whole year without working. It's not my thing. So I decided to walk into Haute Basso, their shop, and ask for a job, and I got it. So this was 7 years ago. So I had the opportunity to learn from the amazing women that created Haute Basso. Haute Basso has been, it was founded in 2013. So it's really about, its philosophy is about two heads are better than one. So we strive on collaboration. So we have been working with women across Rwanda, some who are widows from the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. So we do work with them, we train them, and we take some of their pieces. Some have gone to be their own businesswomen, entrepreneurs. They sell even abroad. So yes, so some of the pieces that create here, we try to do functional pieces, things that are versatile, that are comfortable. So like one of our statements is this like sort of palazzo pants. They're very versatile, they're very comfortable, like you can wear them up and down. And also one of the things that we are kind of known for is our patterns. So back in my country, we have a particular design sort of decoration piece called imigongo. So it's very like black and white sort of pattern. So we try and play with this. So we do black and white and we try to blend in with other pieces as well. And others are these like really cool dresses that are made for the like working women, like something you put on to go to work, but then put a heel on and go to a party afterwards. Yes, so these are some of the pieces made. I just wanted to thank the Creative and people like Sylvia who have started. We've been actually part of a lot of pop-ups that have happened in Kenya. We've had the opportunity to showcase our pieces there, so thank you very much. Thank you very much to people like Ellen and Danayi. I started off as a sales associate at Basso. Now I'm the creative and operations lead. And this is my first time being part of something like this. So I'm truly honored, and I'm glad that I get to learn from all these people who have so much history, who have taken the opportunity, who have taken the risk and started their own thing. So it really inspires me a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your clothes are absolutely phenomenal. The imigongo prints, right? Stunning work, stunning work. Thank you. And then we have Mukonde Studio. Hi. Congratulations.
Morning, everyone. My name is Vimbai Chingosho. I am a Zimbabwean designer. This is my brand. It's a very passionate brand for me because I've been doing this for a while now as well. And I've had ups and downs and, you know, as designers, as we go through. So finally, in my quest for creating a brand that is sustainable and circular and that also incorporates recycling and really mindful tailoring, right? I thought of a cactus plant because it is very resilient and it's strong. And there are so many of these plants in our country, in Africa, but in our country. So the name of my brand, Mukonde, literally means a cactus in Shwanda, a candelabra tree. And that's what I wanted to portray in my brand. So what we do is we use organic linen, and we are very particular in how we tailor. We make clothes that we want to outlast you, and you can pass down to generations. And every piece we make, we then recycle waste, and we make other things from that. So I'm very passionate about finding solutions to really encourage people on how to use resources and how to really love your clothes so that they last forever. And then one big thing that I've started doing with our brand is that we offer maintenance and repair. So if you need help to actually prolong the life of each garment, come back to us. We help you maintain, we repair, and we show you ways to prolong it. Longevity, basically. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, thank you. And then we have Henri Uduku. Did I say it right? Or is it? But it's Henri.
Hi everyone, my name is Henri Uduku. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. Quick story about Henri is I tried to register so many names for my brand, but none of them went through. And when I altered the spelling of my name and I sent it in, CAC just approved it in 2-3 days. And I was like, yeah, it was meant to be. So I started my brand in 2017. I thought I was going for a master's degree in the UK, but life happened and I had already quit my job. And I knew nothing else but fashion at that point because while I was in uni, I was styling people. So we used to have a lot of departmental dinners and other like dinners, and I will style people for dinners. My first job after uni or my first 2 jobs or 3 jobs after uni were in fashion. So I was writing, I was styling, and I was doing a bit of social media management. And so when I quit my job, I felt like I knew nothing else but fashion, and I started my brand. In 2020, I had launched this collection with the numbers because I was going through a very rough time. I had, in January 2020, with 2 of my friends, taken a store in Lagos because we thought this was just after we had done some master classes at the British Council in 2019. So we thought we were ready to pivot. And then we didn't know that COVID was going to happen. So we rented a store. We didn't have enough money to pay for the whole year. So we did 6 months, and COVID happened in February. Right, and by the end of lockdown, we were literally kicked out. And all I could tell was numbers. Everyone's communicating in numbers. Time, dates, everything was, you couldn't talk about anything with numbers. And I just started writing numbers, and I had put in my brand name in like a few places in here, so you'll see that the brand name is on there. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm wearing 2 different collections, actually 3 different collections right now in one outfit. But then I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to connect with everyone here. I was in Cairo for Connect, and I had met Sylvia and Danayi in Cairo. And I'm happy to meet everyone here. I'm happy to network, and I can't wait for everything to unfold. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Henry. Thank you so much. We have Matobos Kollection. Hi. Massive congratulations to you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Okay, I will explain. Okay, so this is Matobos Collection. So just a bit of a backstory. The Ndebele women of Matobos for generations have been doing hard painting. So it's just 7 different wards in around Matobos area, the rural areas, and each woman does hard paintings every season before the rains. It's like a traditional thing. So every year it's just different prints. Some of them dream the prints. Some say that their ancestors told them what to make, what to paint. So they make these prints with sand and cow dung. And they mix and they do all of these different prints, all of these different colors. It's very beautiful prints. So what we have done, there's a project that we started with the British Council, with the German Embassy and the National Art Gallery of Zimbabwe, called Matobos Goes Fashion and Beyond. So this project takes the hard paintings of the women and we translate them into fabric, and we do lifestyle and fashion products. So we have interior design, wallpaper, and fashion. So this is just one of the prints from Zanorashe, but the other collections are coming, they're on their way. Please wait for us in anticipation. What we're going to showcase at the fashion show is just a highlight. Our final fashion shows are coming up and you're all invited, but it's just a highlight of what we're bringing in this project. It has been a very amazing project. So this print, Tatiana is going to just come and explain the print and her look, but this is just a background of what the project is about. So in Harare, we have 15 designers who are under this project doing the Matobos collection. Each designer has 2 different prints, completely different, and they do whatever they want to do in fashion and in lifestyle. And then in Bulawayo, we have 22 designers.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you so much, Tatenda.
I'm sorry, my name is Yolanda Ngwenya. Tatenda is the designer for this, yes.
Thank you, Yolanda. Last but not least, we have Tatenda standing up for Zanorashe.
Morning, everybody. I'm Tatenda Chididi. My story is a bit long, so I'm going to try, make it quite quick. I grew up in Germany, and one day it was United Nations Day or something like that. and we had to go to school dressed in our cultural clothes. And being from Zim, back then, I had literally, those square outfits, like the shorts and the shirt, and that's what my parents put me in, because I had nothing, right? So I get there, and the Americans are in their cool outfits, the jeans, the cowboy hats, the Nigerians showed up, the Egyptians, and I kind of stood there, and I was like, this doesn't feel like my culture. So that's when the idea sort of sparked in my head, and I think I was in the 4th grade or something like that. And I didn't want to be a fashion designer. It's just, I used to sketch, yes, and I loved clothes. I wanted to be a model. And as I got older, my dad kept saying, but why would you just want to be a model? Like, you have something, so try work on that. Simultaneously, my mom had an alterations shop with her sisters. And so I grew up around sequins, beads, haberdashery items, and like what Cheryl's saying, grew up in alterations and just surrounded by other people's clothes. And so I'll tell you, my brand hasn't launched yet. I've just been creating for years and years. I go to fashion shows, I show up with stuff, whatever I feel like doing at the time is what I do. But my own interest and my love is in prints, interpreting prints, and finding a design language for Zimbabwean culture. So when the Matobos project came up, it was like, oh my God, this is exactly it. It's print, it's culture, it's identity. So although I have catalogs and catalogs of my own print designs that I haven't released yet, this was a great starting point for me. And I think the Creative DNA program is going to help me sort of streamline and narrow what I want to do and get into the launch of my brand 10 years later. So it's going to be great, and I'm very glad to be here and to be around all you people. I'm so inspired and excited to see where it all goes. Thank you.
Wonderful, Tatenda. Keep going. Congratulations for making it into the program as well. Last but not least, we have one more designer called Yet Galore. Please come up and share your story with us.
Morning, afternoon, everyone. I don't know what time it is. My name is Tsashinga Chikombe, brand designer at Yet Galore. It's an upcycling brand partly inspired by daily clothing surroundings, human encounters, and nature aesthetics. So my story goes way, way back from when I was a kid. I grew up in a complex where newspapers would come every Wednesday, right? And then people would take newspapers and then there'll be leftovers, yeah. And then the leftovers, we'll take them, cut them out, and get staplers. We used to still like staplers and staples and staple them together, just create clothing, right? So I believe that perfection is boring, you just gotta create. I finished school in 2020, and I didn't want to go to university, and I always thought and wanted to do fashion and go and work into like a fashion space and so forth. So I went to college. I studied pattern making and design, but I felt like that was limiting because you had rules, you had ways that you had to make clothing and so forth, and I just felt like I just wanted to do my own thing. So I had clothes in my wardrobe, and I used to take those clothes, cut them up, turn them into something totally different, and so forth, and I used to work with a whole lot of denim, right? And I didn't know at the time that I was creating a sustainable brand because I hadn't searched much into that. And as time went, that's when I grew and learned that like fashion is like the second highest contributor to pollution in the whole world. Like we have a whole lot of these things that are called bales that come to Zimbabwe, bales that come from fast fashion and so forth. And most of these things are just dumped in like dump sites or rather brought as just bales for sale and so forth. And I heard many people mention that taking old clothing, I think I heard her mention that clothing from just the wardrobe and making sure that we take that and create something new is what I grew and wanted to do. So I work with a whole lot of denim, right? And I upcycle denim, create a whole lot of different pieces from bags, jackets, jeans, and I've now grown into learning dyes from meeting a whole lot of different people, so I'm learning how to dye fabrics, the sustainable brand, not just sustainable in the sense of finance and so forth, but also in the sense of fabrics and creating a piece that someone later in the day could take and also create something new with it, because I have taken something that someone else has made and I've turned it into something new. So why not someone take what I made later on, years later, and create something new from that? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Tashinga. Your clothes are actually phenomenal. Can't wait to see them. Can't wait for you to share them with everyone. At this juncture, we are closing the opening ceremony and saying congratulations and welcome to Creative DNA 2025 Zimbabwe, a wonderful opportunity for designers to mingle, to network, to learn from each other, and to get the best from this Creative DNA program. I hereby pronounce the program open. Please enjoy. Yes, please shop, mix and mingle. Yes, 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 yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 minutes before the next session. So you gotta speed shop if you're shopping right now. Speed shopping.